Not long ago, we were stuck, grinding jobs we hated. But there's so much more to life than that.
We decided to do everything that everyone told us could not be done. Now we're flipping houses, we own multiple companies, and we're here to prove that you never have to settle for mediocrity.
I tour with my band, we run our companies together, and we've manifested a life beyond our wildest dreams. All by having the courage to take the leap and ignore the naysayers.
We declared mutiny on the life we were handed. Now we are here to share how we did it with you.
Tune in for inspiring stories, manifestation techniques, and real advice. We'll show you the steps to flip your mindset, your money, and your life.
Welcome to the Mutiny Model.
Ready to join the rebellion? Let's chart your course.
Hey peeps, welcome to another episode of the Mutiny Model, where we empowering your strategic rebellion. Every episode, we hope to give our viewers, something to take away from our show, and then for them to take action to accomplish your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations. Ain't that right?
Say it, Willie.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah. We try to keep it light and keep it entertaining, guys, but we also want you guys to learn and most of all to be inspired, right?
Yes, ma'am.
To see what's possible.
Yep.
You think the ceiling is here? Nope. It's here.
Yeah.
Turn your phone off.
I know I did.
What are you, a rookie?
I know.
You're a professional podcaster now.
I know.
How many podcasts are you on?
Many. It feels like.
And more to come, I think.
More to come.
The way you're headed.
Yeah.
Welcome, guys. Thank you for tuning in again. Quick shout out to, we've just been checking our stats and stuff. And first of all, shout out to, we've identified our number one fan.
Yes, we have.
Who's that?
Sarah
Amato. Shout out to Sarah. Sarah is my lifelong friend. She's one of my best friends. We got into a lot of trouble when we were teenagers. And she tunes into every episode right away as soon as it drops. And she sends us so much detailed feedback. And it's just, we appreciate it.
She's the best.
She's the best. We love you, Sarah.
I don't know how many times I text Sarah and I said hearts. That's how I weigh how
Heart
much
emojis.
I like somebody. Heart emojis to Sarah all the time.
But we also want to give a shout out to our listeners in Russia. And our new listeners in Canada. Thank you guys for being here. Welcome. Of course, welcome to our audience in the US. But we're just excited that we're officially international. So thank you guys for being here, for tuning into the Mutiny Model. It's very cool. We're on this journey. We're all on this journey together. So we're growing. We hope it helps you guys to grow. So let's dive into today's topic. We're going to talk about real estate, being a real estate agent or an investor. We're going to talk about so obviously, if you guys have listened to some of the other episodes, right, you are aware that we got our start, we got to some of our wealth through being real estate agents first and then transitioning into being investors. Now, that is not what the Mutiny Model is all about, right? You can listen to the Mutiny Model and still take advice and stuff if you have a product-based business, if you have another kind of a service-based business. You don't have to be a real estate investor, but we just found that this was our vehicle that we took.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yeah, and we've done well in the space. We've learned a lot of things on this journey.
Yeah.
We made a lot of mistakes. I'll be the first to admit that.
A lot of mistakes to share with people.
That's right. And then you figure it out, just like most agents do. You find the culture of where you need to be. Sometimes it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Being in the right office, the right brokerage, and then the right people, essentially. And then the right mentors, of course, the right coaches. That all matters, and then, as long as you stay in it, you will figure it out.
Yep.
And then, hopefully the idea is you do well and you're successful and you accomplish your goals.
And you go on mad vacations and you have fun and you buy properties and you buy the cars you want and you enjoy your freedom, your time freedom too.
Yeah.
We know how important that is.
We are the living proof that this is a thing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you and I sit there and reflect on where we've came from, essentially.
Yeah, we didn't start at the top, that's for sure.
It's been nothing short of a miracle.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
We're a walking miracle.
Started from the bottom.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
So we're not going to go back into our journey. That's in episode 1 and 2. But basically, our journey was we were in healthcare, and then we transitioned into being real estate agents. We did that for a few years. About 4 years, we became a top producing team many years in a row. And then we took that money and we put it into some Airbnbs. We put it into some long-term investments, some multi-units. And now we flip pretty much full-time. So we've done all those things, and we can share insights. We can share the good, the bad, and the ugly on all those things. So we have a lot to fit into this episode today.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Right?
I'm excited. I'm excited about the topic and what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah. So the first thing is it's very interesting. We have a lot of people approach us and ask, hey, I want to be a real estate agent, don't we? We have a lot of people, and they're like, it's only a 40-hour course in either Mass or New Hampshire, which is where we practice. I know we have an international audience, right? So we can't speak for other states and other countries, but it's not much of a high barrier for entry. Yep. But there's a really high failure rate in becoming a real estate agent. What's that stat from NAR?
I mean, it's something like 80%.
It's I think it's 87% of agents in the first 4 years, they just wash out of the business.
Out of the business.
That's a huge...
And I actually thought it was 2 years, not even 4.
That's
but either way.
That's a huge failure rate, you know. Yeah. So I certainly don't want to discourage or scare people away from getting into the business, but we've kind of figured out the reasons why people fail. Right.
If somebody listens to this episode, they should listen to what we say is the reason for failure and not do
what to do and what not to do. Right.
We gonna give y'all the secrets. Like just know that this is transparency here. I'm big on transparency.
We don't have much to hide.
No.
I mean, yeah.
No. You know, one of my mentors always said, it's like, you know, the blueprint. You know, I always say I will give somebody my blueprint these days, and take it and go be successful and make a happy life for yourself. Now, we know there's a high percentage of people that will not execute on that advice or that knowledge, right?
What it is.
That's right.
But how many people are actually going to take action on it?
Yes.
Right.
That's why I would share my blueprint with any agent that's ever asked me, how did you do so much volume, you know, back to year after year after year. We've done so much, right? Year after year. And we will tell people, we'll share, because you know what? I always say that very successful people have helped us come up in this world, in this business. And I'm always so grateful for that, right? So I'm just like, you know, when I see another agent, young or old, that's struggling in the business or could need a little bit of you know, advice or help, I am, you know me, I am glad.
That's part of the reason we're doing the show, right?
Correct.
Just to share.
Let's get some coffee. Let's get some lunch. Talk about it. Tell you what you need to do. And again, those people, it depends. It's a small percentage that goes out there and really like, you know, take advantage, or
the ones that take action.
Take the action to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about first what kind of personality types do best as real estate agents, right? Because if you're, let's say someone's at the point where, the ideal path that we would advise, if you want to get wealthy through real estate, is become an agent for a couple years, because you learn so much about the business, and then transition into investing. So that's kind of the arc that we're going to be taking you guys through today on this show. So, but first, you have to kind of identify, would I be good as an agent, right? So what would you say, Patrick? I mean, some basic sales skills, first of all. Like, you enjoy talking to people.
Yep.
Some people have a misconception like, oh, I like pretty houses, and that would make me a good agent. Maybe not.
Yeah, no, and there's a few things that goes into that, right? First of all, you have to take pride in what you do. There's a lot of, I feel like it used to be very easy years ago to get a license, right? Maybe just say you like houses, and, you know, get into a brokerage where you could just show some pretty houses.
The market was easier.
Get business. Yeah. I feel like in the past few years, you really got to be on top of your game, you know, to work with buyers. You know, I used to love working with buyers, and I still do. But that was my was my personality too.
You
right?
love it. You just can't. You don't do it anymore because you don't have the time.
No, we solely investors at this point, real estate investors. However, it's I will still take on a client. Past clients. Sometimes it's hard for me to say no because
friends,
we've worked, family, whoever that they exclusively want to work with you, which is a compliment. Which is the greatest compliment when somebody you help them purchase something or buy something 5, 6, 10 years. In my case, 10 years ago, and they still will call you for their real estate needs, right? And because they trust you. They know you're good at what you do. And each year, think about it, each year, in our case, get better and better and better. My first year in real estate was a disaster. First year was a disaster. And again, this is not to scare agents. It was just because I did not work in the right environment, in the right place. That's all. But
and
if I knew now, right, if I knew then what I know now.
And you made how much?
Oh, drum roll. $600 for the year.
Woo!
People, for the year, not a month, not a day. I was $600. Oh, my first year in real estate. And that was for a rental property.
Yeah.
And and that's because again, I was not working in the right space, the right office.
The right education for a brand new agent. Right. So like the personality that you had, the personality, right? Like you can talk, you can go in a room, you can talk to anyone. So
I'm shy.
Honey.
I'm a shy person.
So for a quick tip, we're not going to dive too much into this on this episode, but if you want to see what your skill level would be at being a real estate agent, you're going to want to look up the DISC profile, the DISC, and see where you fall on that profile. So if you're a higher D mixed with some combination of a higher I, or if the I is higher and you have some D in there, those are both two good, really good personality profiles to be able to know, okay, I can have some success as an agent. The other two personality profiles are more geared toward supportive roles in real estate. So a TC, an appraiser, more like that. You're not so much going to be the person going out and making the sales if you're a high S or a high C. So you have to have some S and some C because you got to know contracts and stuff. But we could take a whole episode on the DISC profile.
I know,
right?
And I love talking about that model.
Yeah.
It's I believe Tony Robbins was the one that adopted the model, but then other companies or platforms.
He made it popular for sure. I don't think he came up with it, but
right.
Yeah, he uses it a lot. Yeah,
and
I love it.
And now big companies, big corporations use it for hiring, even executives or just employees, staffers.
Yeah, it's very common.
So
you want to check that. So let's dive into what is the income potential for real estate agents, and let's dive into what a schedule would look like for a successful agent. So income potential, what's your take on that?
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not even just saying that.
Pretty
Sky's
much
the limit. It all depends on what your goals are. Your goals. Everybody has different financial goals, health goals, because I'm going to health because and family and all the social goals, because just like anything else, if you sit here chasing this money, we know very successful people, wealthy, rich people who have all the monies, let's just put it that way. They got money, but they're not enjoying it. They don't know they don't have good balance in life. Me, I'm always talking about balance in life.
Yeah.
Because
we've gotten out of balance a lot, especially when we were new agents.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know what we were just spinning in circles, watching YouTube videos, trying to figure it out. I think the turning point for us was when we got into coaching.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So to be realistic, and the question is you can make a very good living. I mean, from the 6 figures to millions in just a year of real estate.
I would say an average age. Let's tell them numbers, right? So an average agent, I would say makes $75K a year.
Yeah.
Right? So the average agent closes 4 to 5 deals a year.
Yep.
Right? So that's going to bring you anywhere from 50 to 75K, depending, again, really depends where you live. You know, if you're selling $100,000 houses, which those don't really exist anymore, but or $1 million houses, obviously your paychecks are going to look a lot different because it's percentage and commission based, right?
Yes.
But top producers can easily make $300,000-$400K a year.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So that's the potential. And then there are some really ultra top producers that regularly have a team and pull in $1 million plus a year. So that's the potential. And but to get to those higher levels, you have to invest in yourself, right? So in real estate, we talk about sweat equity versus check equity. So if you're starting out and this is your first year and you're like, okay, tell me what to do. Either you're going to be spending your time or you're going to be spending your money, right? Yeah. And it's as simple as that. Some people pay for Zillow leads. We've never done that, but it's certainly a path that some people take. Some people spend time reaching out to their sphere. They spend time developing their social media. They spend money on mailers. They spend time, cold calling people, researching properties. So you are going to make an investment especially in your first couple of years while you're building your client base. Because once you have a client base, you have to make sure you have a CRM and that's systematized and that you have everyone in there and you're always reaching out and keeping in contact with them, right? Yeah. But that's getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
So just touching back on that daily schedule. What was your daily schedule when you were the top producer, top dog?
Man, I mean, so it starts with a powerful morning routine.
Savers.
If
you want to learn about savers, go back and watch our last episode on manifestation.
Yeah, but I'll just say silence, affirmations, visualizations, exercise reading, scribing, in that order. I did it. I used to do it every morning when I was really high vibe, and that's me getting up at fairly early in the morning.
Yep, good time.
And then getting my walk in, getting my reading in, getting, just kind of grounding yourself to get started for the day. And then get into an office, we've done both types of home offices or physical building. Getting in there, and it's all about the phones. You gotta be on the phone.
Or the social media. But the same thing, right?
Yeah, right. Like, you gotta get on
You're spending some time, you're checking the MLS, you're seeing what's going on.
Yeah, but prospecting. Yeah. Prospecting, that's when
you do it early in the morning to get it over with.
Yes.
Right? So whether that means you're going after expired listings, there's so much that you can do. It's just that it's better to work with a coach because usually people pursue one lead pillar and they don't see results and they quit and they go on to the next one and they've wasted money on the last one. But that's because they don't have a coach guiding them and telling them, hey, if you just put one more month in on this, you'd be getting calls like out your ears. It's just you gave up too soon. That's typically what happens, and that's one of the reasons for that large failure rate that we see.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So again, for me, where I was getting into that office and prospecting, whatever that looks like, phone calls, social media, messages, texts, the few other things that you do. And when you go hard in that space, like, so we call it, we used to call it the hour of power, right? The hour of power. That's when you are you're laser focused, and you are in flow. I call it flow, right? So that means once you start,
no one's interrupting
you're locked.
Hopefully,
you're just in your business. Because a lot of agents, you see, when you use the word in your business, because some agents fail to realize when you work as an agent, it's a business. You're a business.
You are the business. You wake up every day with no food. You got to go get your food.
Correct.
You got to go hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to this day, I even correct agents when they say, I work for Remax. I work for Keller Williams. I work for... Yeah. You work for yourself. Mm-hmm. They broker your deals.
There's no salary.
And just that little thing, if you're able to switch your mindset in that way, like, no, I work for myself. Because, again, if you don't put in that work, you're not going to get paid.
You're just using their brokerage license. They're not giving you leads. They're not, they're not.
Some offices do, as we know.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah. Some of them say they advertise for you and stuff, but it doesn't really turn out to be many deals per year.
Oh, no. You got to hustle.
Right?
You got to grind. It's a hustle. It's a grind. And, you get as much as you put in. Yeah. So I used to know people or agents specific that will go in the office and just do like a few minutes of prospecting and say, and then go to happy hour.
or just none.
Start drinking.
Or just none, yeah.
Right, you know. And then we know agents that hours, I'm talking about like from dusk till dawn, they are on it.
They're on it. And that is the most important activity that you can do as an agent, is your prospecting. So if you hate prospecting, if you hate reaching out to people, if you hate the idea or the thought of that, this might not be for you.
Oh, yeah. No, bro.
Okay.
No. You may not want to do this business.
Because you got to do that. And then the rest of the day, you're checking on all the deals you have under contract. Hopefully, you've put systems in place where you have a TC and someone that can do all the paperwork on your deals, right?
Yeah. TC means transaction
coordinator. Yep. Shout out to Jessica Martinez.
Jessica, the best.
And then you're out showing houses, right? And all that for the rest of the day, and then you wrap up your day. So I think a misconception is that when you're a real estate agent, you have a lot of freedom of time. You can have a lot of freedom of time, but you'll be poor. You can, right?
True.
You can.
Of course. Yes.
You can. You can do those 3-4 deals a year, make about $30,000. That's it.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you can have a lot of time freedom. And, you want to make sure that you're having these discussions if you're going to take the leap into being an agent, with people that you live with your husband, with your wife, with your kids, with whatever. Because I see a lot of people become agents and then their spouse is like, okay, here are the kids. You're home now, so you can, do this is your schedule, and you are your business, right? Yep. Like you said, hon. So nobody is going to respect your business if you don't respect your business. Nobody's going to respect your like I work every day. It can be from only 10 to 3. You don't have to work 40 hours a week. That's something that's drilled in our head. Like, you don't have to work 40 hours a week.
No.
But whatever schedule you decide on, you have to respect, and you have to tell other people to respect.
Yes, because people will.
Because you got to be in flow, to based on like what you said.
Right.
When you're prospecting, you can't have interruptions. You can't be on social media. You have to be in that flow state.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can get done if, like I said, hour of power. It just take 1 hour actually, but in that hour, you lock your door, you pull the blinds down, you lock yourself in whatever room you're in, office, a car, I don't care. And your basement, and just get it. Go get it,
All right. So now they have an idea of some of the income potential and some of the scheduling and what you'd have to do to really be successful as an agent. So let's talk about okay, you've been an agent for a year or two. You've done that. You're still going to keep, growing your agent business, but you want to transition into investing. What do you think, Patrick, were the advantages to the fact that you've been an agent for a couple of years and now you want to be an investor?
Well, let's talk about the money first. The potential
I know you love
to
money.
make money. I mean, again, once you figure out this whole thing and then you start to put it together, meaning like being an agent, and you start to understand the process and everything. I mean, we used to get awards, right, all the time. And remember the first time the 1 year we made 6 figures in the month.
In 30 days.
In 30 days. Think about that.
Oh, my God.
Right?
I kind of forgot about that.
We closed, I don't know how many deals at that time
We got like one of those giant checks from our broker.
Oh, which is cool. Feel like I was in a TV show, like some kind of like game show.
Yeah. I mean, we looked, I think we were holding the check and we looked a little rough.
Yeah.
We were tired, right? I think we looked a little beat up.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, what we want?
We gotta find that picture.
I need to go sleep now. After this month, I don't know what.
But it was worth it.
Oh, of course.
So your point is, you're not gonna if you have a 9-to-5 job, you're not gonna get that kind of cake to invest in real estate.
Right.
Right.
Right. So, but the thing was, you and I were aligned. When we first got in It was like, oh, when we teamed up together because I was an agent and you came on.
I'm still laughing at how we look on the check.
Oh, man. I think there's like some kind of like gif or meme out there where like that, you know,
with
that
the
one
dog
with the dog
with the hair.
The dog after a night of drinking, they look crazy.
That's how we look.
I think I lost hair.
You had a bald spot?
I had bald spots.
No, you didn't.
I know I did. I just got to make the viewers laugh. I got to make them laugh. No, but we're just saying how we were focused again. Because
we were focused,
once we got our feet in, you know, a few years in real estate, and we're motivated by other agents around you that are very successful.
Yeah.
And it's inspiring. Not just see, you and I are different. When we saw the people doing well, I used to love that. Congratulate them. Yeah. You know, just like you out of a good place. You're like, oh my God, because we were like, they can do it. We can do it.
We can do it.
And
it cultivates like a healthy competition,
absolutely.
Not like I'm gonna sell more houses than them, but like if they can do it, we can do it. Exactly.
Yeah, because we have an abundant mindset, right?
Yeah.
Because there is so much business and money and everything in the world that, you know, I preach this all the time. For every human in the world, 100 times, 1,000 times over.
We just need to figure out how to get it to flow into our bank account.
That's it.
There's so much abundance out there.
There's a lot of abundance.
Having a scarcity mindset and thinking like, oh, I need to coupon, there's not enough money. I need to pinch pennies, there's not enough money. That gets you stuck in that scarcity.
Yeah.
Right?
I saw this was a few years ago. I saw this like photo or poster, right? Where it says 99% of the world's wealth is controlled by 1%, the 1% of the population. Mm-hmm. And so when you think of that, it's saying that 1% of the world's wealth is what the 99% of humans have at that time. I don't know if the statistics changed. That did something to me. It was like, wait a minute, I could tap more into 99%. I don't just want to like be in the other percent, the other, you know, where we all fighting for the thing here. Mm-hmm. How do I get to be tapping into the 99% of the wealth of the world? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it just, I translated it differently in my brain. Some people might be like, oh, just have whatever they want to say. That's terrible.
It made it feel more accessible to you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we know there are very, very wealthy people out there. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm talking about the Elon Musks, the Jeff Bezos, the princes, the Saudi Arabians, crown princes, and everything like that. These guys are billionaires. Mm-hmm. We're gonna probably see a trillionaire in our lifetime at some point, right? But what I'm saying is, a fraction of that, like, you know, working towards getting that. You know, that's what I'm like.
And I think a lot of times people spend time. What I see is people spend time being mad at wealthy people, or that saying like "eat the rich," right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, here's the reality. You can have that mindset, but guess what? You're literally making it so that you're never going to be one of them. Because if you hate them, why would you take the steps to change and to try to become one of them, and to have time freedom, and to have abundance, and to have all the perks that come along with being wealthy? Mm-hmm. Some people think or look at it like it's like morally or ethically wrong. Yeah. That's like fascinating to me.
It is. But you and I study a lot of spirituality and wealth and all these different things we're learning. And, you know, some people, and that's okay. Some people want to live a very modest life, right? And you know what? If they're happy, I always say to people, I don't care if you pick up trash in the street, if you clean toilets for a living, and you're happy,
keep doing it.
Keep doing it, and keep being happy. Happiness. It's just that's the key. That's the key. We live on a floating rock. Like, who's to say what you should be doing to make you happy?
What makes someone else
happy? I cannot tell you how to be happy. You know what makes you happy. Our likes are different. You know what I like? I like my private jets. I like being on yachts. I like going on very nice vacations. And you know what I'm going to do? I work for it.
That's my husband.
I'm gonna get this paper. I'm gonna get this bread, right? And that's just what it is. And the friends we have, most of them do very well. They're very successful, and we all help each other. We motivate each other to keep doing well, keep celebrating their success. Listen, I'm the type of person. My friend would do a closing on a deal. I'm like, I'm celebrating you. I'll do a shot by myself. I don't want to be like, hey,
you'll have drinks for
my
them.
friend just did the deal.
Yeah.
If we're not going out together, I'm like, I'll take a toast to my friend who
June
just closed
is here. These people don't know about June.
June is
Patrick's birthday month, and I call it the gauntlet. So basically, like from June 1st through July 11th-ish, because then we got July 4th.
Yeah.
Your birthday's June 28th.
Yeah.
We're gonna be. Yeah.
We have a few birthdays of friends in between.
We got friends' birthdays. We got Brittany and Jared in there. We got the 4th of July.
Yeah.
It's a party. We're on the boat.
Yeah.
We're at the lake. We're at the beach. We're at the pool.
We're everywhere. We may even go to Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We should do a liver detox, actually, before we kick this month off. But I digress. But you know, in that vein, it's just, guys, if you are someone who does have a little bit of, you know, thoughts or opinions on rich people or whatever, you know, just know that, yes, some rich people were born into wealth and it's generational, but a lot of rich people were born into nothing and they climbed the ladder. And all those same rules, all those same tools, they're all available to all of us. One of the biggest ways that people maintain wealth is by familiarizing themselves, as boring as it sounds, with the tax code.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Oh. Because knowledge is power with taxes. And, you know, people want to get mad at rich people for their taxes and for taking losses on businesses. I know Donald Trump's taxes are like
I'm just going to use that as an example.
Really big hot topic.
Yeah.
But here's the message. You have the same tax laws that apply to you as Donald Trump has, right? You just need to take the time to learn them or hire someone to learn those tax codes. If you have a W-2 job and you make $100,000 a year, or if you have a business and you make $100,000 a year, typically you owning a business and keeping that $100K a year, you keep a lot more of it in your pocket because you're deducting your business expenses, your office. If you have a home office, your business pays for that. Your cell phone, you know, obviously you have to consult with an accountant on your specific line of work in your industry, right? But typically saying, educate yourself. You know, the tax code is huge for actually keeping the wealth that comes to you, because it's like 40% of it is like gone if you have a W-2 job. Yeah. You know, you might see like 60 grand. Yeah. out of that 100.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So the people that complain about their instances and situations, and it's like, listen, just, you got to take the time to invest in your intelligence, your knowledge. Read a book. read a chapter. It's not like me. I don't still believe I could just like pick up a book and read it through, because we got a million things going on. However, I can read a chapter a day.
Yep.
Make little goals. Read a page a day to start. You know, I tend to dive in books where if it captures my attention and I enjoy it, the subject matter, and it's educational and it's good. Because there's so many books and so many different things, right, we can learn. But in our space, there's so many real estate books, business books, spiritual books. You know, people just got to take that time to have some pride, man. Have some pride. Learn something. Learn something you could teach somebody.
Listen to a podcast.
Listen to a podcast. Okay, so we've shared a lot in this episode.
It's been a good one.
It's been a great one. And I think we're going to make this a 2-part episode, because it's going to flow into the second thing we want to talk about. Yeah, we're going to
dive a lot more into investing in the next episode.
Yep. And so I think the recap on this one, you know, we've shared kind of like, you know, how we started as young agents, worked our way up. You know, the potential to make X amount of money, sky's the limit.
Is being an agent right for you?
Yep.
Personality traits.
Yep. If you want to have balance, you know, then that production may be lower. We talked about taxes, if you want to educate yourself on taxes.
Rich dad, poor dad, all the way.
Ooh, one of my favorite books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
And the series specifically, because the second and third one talk more about the tax code and stuff. Yeah. And the EBSI quadrant.
Yep. Robert Kiyosaki is the author of that. Yep. So check that book out if you haven't. What else?
Like, share, and subscribe.
Oh, yes. I love that part, too.
Go ahead. Say your thing.
Listen, after every conversation these days, I feel like a true podcaster because I say, and please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Mutiny Model and our sister podcast, The Banter Booth.
Yes.
Yep.
Feel free to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. It really helps to boost us kind of in the algorithm and get us out there to more people who need to hear an inspirational, positive, uplifting message. So thank you guys so much for being around. Just for a couple housekeeping things. So I have a show coming up at Hampton Beach if any of you guys are around with my band.
Yes.
So June 28th, and that also happens to be Patrick's birthday. So please come by and buy him a drink, or if he looks too drunk, buy him a water. Don't, he could.
It's hard for me to say no.
Are you going to sing on stage?
I'm yet to
That's
decide.
That's such a loaded question.
This is a last minute call.
No, it's not. We got to decide beforehand.
Let your band decide.
Yeah, we're going to let me. I'm going to let Aaron decide.
Aaron, Rob Murphy, Jim, everybody, Nick. Oh, shout out to Nick. Nick just had a baby.
Shout out to little Harry. Welcome
little
to
Levi.
the world.
I would call him Levi because we have two Levis in the family.
Levi. Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to Lil Man and Gianna. Nice work.
Maybe he'll be there with some headphones
happy for
on.
These guys.
We'll see.
Yes. Oh, and Sean Keys. I said your whole band's name. I can't forget one more. So
Sean is so vital.
Sean.
He's so important. Oh my God. Sean can do anything. He can play any instrument. So yeah, guys, please one more time check out our sister podcast that is also shot here at Mutiny Model Studios, The Banter Booth with Patrick and Shane.
Shane Misery,
hilarious.
And Josh Ovaris.
It's hilarious and it's fun and it's just a lot of entertainment if you want to sit back and have a few laughs.
Check
out The Banter Booth.
We're bantering.
Also, I run a foundation with my friends, and we're always accepting donations to help families in need in southern New Hampshire. So please check out the Rising Rose website, guys. We'll link it here at the bottom in the show notes. And we really appreciate any donations, large or small. They all go to help the families in need. And then I think that is it for today. So be on the lookout for next Friday's episode. We are going to finish up the conversation. We're going to wrap up talking about that transition from being an agent into being an investor and the different routes of investing, be that Airbnb, short-term rentals, long-term rentals, and we're going to talk a little bit about flipping. So don't miss it. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.